and welcome back, listeners. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Connections, the Heart of Early Childhood podcast. I'm Shara Foster,
And I'm Becca Despain.
and we have two amazing guests here with us today. Welcome to the podcast, Megan and Roxy. We're so glad you guys are here. To begin, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your work. Megan, we'll start with you.
Hi there, my name is Megan Marquez, and I am an early childhood instructional coach at the CREC. This is my third year at the CREC, but altogether I have been in education. My magic number is 18. I don't know the real number, but that's where I stopped counting. So I have been in education for over 18 years, and I'm really excited to be here today.
Oh, awesome. Thank you. And Roxy, tell us a little bit about you.
Hi, everybody. My name is Roxy Acosta. I'm an education facilitator for New Mexico Pre-K. I work with Las Cruces Public Schools, and this is my third year in this role. And it's kind of interesting because before I took this role, I was actually a music specialist. That's what brought me into the world of early childhood. And before that, I was a kindergarten teacher. So I get to do a lot of fun stuff with my current role, and I'm just excited to be here. Overall, 24 years in education. 24. I am keeping track.
Awesome. All right. Well, great. I'm so glad to have you both here with us. And we're going to be talking about the Unpacking the Pyramid Model book study that Megan is facilitating and you're participating in, Roxy. So, Roxy, what initially drew you to this book study?
Well, first of all, I love the way it was presented. It was like this winter blitz of professional learning. And I thought, wow, I could do that. And it seemed very doable, all within a month, all the same days, all the same times. I thought, yes, sign me up. But the other big part of it was that in my role as a facilitator, it's ongoing work all the time supporting our pre-K teachers. And also, as I mentioned before, I get to teach as well. I teach music on Mondays and Fridays. So there's that social emotional learning that I've got to hit with teaching adults, but also working directly with children. So that's what drew me in.
Oh, amazing. That's so great to hear that it, benefits you in multiple parts of your position.
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so Megan, as you've been moving through the book study, what ideas or practices have really sparked the most reflection or conversation for you amongst your team?
Well, I just want to say I'm really fortunate to be a part of such a great team. I really appreciate the collaboration, the conversation that we do have every week with the book study. As we've kind of been going through the book, I think something that might have sparked a lot of reflection was really our deep dive into the importance of building those nurturing and positive relationships. I think we've had a lot of aha moments whenever we're talking about that high quality supportive environment. We talk about the physical space in our classroom, kind of moving away from just looking pretty, but really seeing our space is really important. That conversation has kind of shifted toward how we use visuals to promote independence, which significantly kind of reduces the number of times teachers have to give those verbal corrections. I do think that the most heavy conversation topic was thinking about those targeted social emotional supports. So we really realize that we're expecting children to share and problem solve without actually maybe teaching them how to share, problem solve, or even understanding their own emotions. So we began kind of reflecting on their own emotional regulation, and it has sparked a really great dialogue among all of us in the book study. And we know that it's really important that we need to model those skills that we want to see in our students.
That is that
Absolutely.
that is true, Megan. Although we all know that your favorite is the box breathing, right? You really love the box breathing.
Yes, calm, calm, calm.
Very cool. So I've actually been able to join a couple sessions, not all of them, but I think that's my favorite part too, just that reflection and collaboration piece with all the participants. And plus, I really like the book too. So great. Okay, Roxy, for you, what ideas or practices have really sparked the most reflection?
I think for me, I think a lot about the consistency and how our teachers implement the tier one practices. That's been huge. And just thinking about how little shifts can make a big impact. In our book study, we talked about it can start from the moment our children enter the doors and how we greet them, even transitions, planning, those transitions that have learning that's embedded within them, how we teach our expectations, just like Megan was saying, all of those things together. The environment is huge. It's our third teacher, right? It all has such a big impact. So there's just a lot of things that have caused me to just sit back and think, wow, I didn't think about things in this way. And one thing I want to really share is that I will never see behaviors the same way I used to. I used to think that I was the fixer of behavior, that that was my role and my purpose. But now through the book study, I've learned that my role is to always stay curious and wonder what might the child be trying to communicate. And I've even applied this with my own grandbabies because I have five of them. They're 3 and under, so it works in with the classrooms, the teachers, the students, but also at home with my own grandchildren.
Oh, amazing. I love to hear that. Yeah, when I remember having teenagers at home and they would say, "Don't use that pre-K stuff on me." But
I love
it
I love the fact that you said wonder and the curiosity. Is that probably been your favorite aha moment for you
It
then? Is that what you're saying? What I'm
It
hearing?
really has, because it changes your whole approach and how you see behavior. Instead of being reactive or frustrated in the moment, like, why is this child behaving like this? Like, why can't the parents, like, putting the blame on the parents? It's more like, hey, wait a minute. What is the child trying to tell me? Because in many instances, maybe they're not able to communicate, and their behavior is a way that they're trying to tell me they need more time at the learning center, or maybe they want to play with a friend, but they don't know how to ask for that. So definitely it's big.
I like that reflection.
absolutely.
I think too,
Yes.
it's even saying, thinking about how much time we spend on those tier one practices, right? Like those are the foundations, and that's what we really need to think about before we think a student needs some type of specialized support, because they can all benefit from those really specific tier one practices. So I think when taking that approach, as Roxy said, what are they trying to tell me through this behavior? You can look at it as a whole. How can I support everybody in
So,
this moment as well in those tier one practices?
so
Absolutely. And I think it's such a great reminder that we do need to, you know, teach it to everybody. All of our students are going to benefit from these practices. And I think oftentimes teachers go into it thinking, oh, they should know this or they should know that. But it's an opportunity for us to teach them, right? Yeah, all of those
absolutely.
important skills that we want them to be developing and using in our classrooms. Okay, so Megan, how's the book study really deepened your thinking about supporting adults in implementing the pyramid practices?
Well, I really consider myself lucky working with the adults because I think we've been working toward this our whole lives, because adults benefit from learning the same way our students do. So I think that the foundation of the pyramid is also a great foundation of a coach and teacher partnership. If teachers don't feel safe, if a coach doesn't feel safe, or if they don't feel valued, there won't be that sufficient vulnerability that they need to support and strengthen their classroom practice. So it's important that we as coaches, we as teachers, we need to understand that we need to build a nurturing environment for everybody, because we are essentially expecting our teachers to do that for our students. So I really have to think about, is the environment I'm creating designed to help my teachers succeed? Do I do those important things? Do I have clear agendas, expectations? Am I providing those resources? If a teacher needs that support to implement those practices, I need to look at how I am supporting them, and am I giving the proper scaffolding for my teachers to understand the needs of their students? And adults also have that emotional regulation need. If a teacher's frustrated or overwhelmed, they're very dysregulated. So it's up to us to work together, talk about modeling those skills we want them to wants them to teach our kids, um, using that vocabulary, giving them those problem solving pathways, maybe not fix it for them, but kind of discuss it, talk about it, and just whenever we're thinking about the unpacking the peer model, it made me realize the way that I coach the teacher should be the same way a teacher coaches a student. So it all comes together full circle.
Absolutely. And we're helping them build that toolbox that we want them then to pass on to their students. I love it. Awesome. Okay, Roxy, I know you're in your position, you're able to, support the teachers that you work with and the staff, but also with students on those days that you're working with them. So how has the book study deepened your thinking about supporting everybody while implementing the pyramid practices?
Well, one thing I think this book study has helped me deepen is that social emotional is much more beyond, like, I guess before I would see it as being taught in isolation. Like, for example, in our program, we have a curriculum called Komochis. So in my mind, I thought, okay, that's the time that you hit the social emotional learning. But our being a part of the book study, it's helped me realize that social emotional learning is every day, all day long. It's what we do all the time. It really should take precedent over academics. It's so very important for our little learners. So that has really helped me. And then also just being very intentional, like Megan was saying, piggybacking, piggybacking on what she was saying. I told you I'm nervous. That it's not enough just to give the information to our adults. We've got to model it. They've got to see it. They've got to get feedback. They got to try it. They got to get their hands wet. And then we've got to give them that feedback like, wow, I saw that you tried this. You took a chance. And just give them opportunities to reflect on their own practices. And I totally agree with Megan that the way our approaches with our adults, it should mirror the same approach teachers should have with children. And I saw that mirrored with you guys. You ladies, when we're a part of the book study, you're mirroring what we should be doing with the teachers and what teachers should be doing with their children. So it's all embedded. It all works together.
Absolutely. Okay, so other people might be thinking, how can I get involved in this book study? So, Megan, tell us, why should the early childhood professionals in New Mexico join the next Unpacking the Pyramid Model book study?
Well, I mean, it's just really beneficial all around. I mean, it's a great safe space to be in. I think in reading the book along with several colleagues across the state, you're going to really learn to kind of, I think the biggest thing to think about is you're going to learn to view behavior as communication, not like react to that. Not, it's not a reactive discipline. So you'll gain a toolkit for intentional, explicit instruction in that social emotional realm and supporting their skills, teaching them how to make friends, how to solve problems, regulate their emotions before you go up into that tier three. Um, I think this study really does acknowledge that you cannot support kiddos if you don't feel supported yourself. I think it gives great strategies for building wonderful collaborative relationships with colleagues as well as families, and kind of reducing that isolation that often is felt in the pre-K world. I mean, sometimes we feel like we're in an island by ourselves. Um, the book study also covers how to use pyramid practices to reduce that implicit bias and disproportionality in discipline. It helps you to really create a classroom that honors all backgrounds of all our New Mexican families while providing really predictable, safe routines for every kid. And the biggest thing is you're part of a great community of practice where you can share those moments, share what you know, because the teachers come with a lot of knowledge. And I think it's important to share that with as many people as we possibly can. And we're facing the same struggles, we have the same challenges, and I think we have a lot of the same triumphs. So I think it's important to come together and share that with everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, Roxy, what would you say to other administrators or teachers who are considering participating in the book study?
I would strongly encourage them to participate. You're going to have so many takeaways This book is filled with so much that will help. It's applicable for our entire day. Anything you're looking for, your routines or anything, it's going to help you create that safe, nurturing environment for all of our children, all of them. That was a word that I saw repeated all throughout the book. It's for all children. And it's going to provide practical, actionable strategies that will also deepen your understanding of practices that matter. It challenges your thinking. It's going to support your reflection. It's going to help bridge that gap between knowledge and practice. And I love what Megan said. That's exactly right. I feel like it's a safe space to share and learn from each other. I know the many times I've been writing down ideas that the other ladies are sharing. I've had so many takeaways and even quotes, powerful quotes that I'm just keeping here close to the heart. So,
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing. Okay, listeners, for those of you that are itching to register for the next book study, make sure you visit the CREC website. You're going to go over to the Early Childhood Trainings tab and scroll down to the recommended professional learning for lead teachers and assistants. And you will find information about the upcoming book studies that will be available in the new school year, and all the cohort dates will be there. We hope to see you soon. And thank you again to Megan and Roxy for joining us today and sharing your insights about this amazing book study. We are so thankful for your participation and facilitation, and for taking the time out of your day to join us here on our podcast.
absolutely. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. You've been wonderful. I've
Thank
learned
Thank
so
you.
you.
much from all of you.
Thank you.